I'm especially grateful that my mom persevered in teaching me the rosary because it's a tool God used to teach me to forgive, to get to know his mom, and to teach me to listen to his son and his calling me to religious life. When I was growing up, my mom would pray the rosary with us before bed in my brother's room. My siblings and I were little goofs, and we would always do things purposely to annoy her. We would pray really fast in high-pitched voices, and then when she scolded us to slow down and be somewhat respectful, we would slow down and be like, "Hail Mary, full of grace." And looking back now, I realize just how patient and faithful my mom was to keep praying with us, despite our silly tactics to get out of it. I moved out when I was 19. That was when I began to wrestle with going to Mass every Sunday, especially when questioned by my friends on the point of it all, and faced with having to say no to dirt biking or going to the lake Sunday mornings, along with a lot of things that I had to give up. It got hard. Eventually, I started choosing to please my friends and my peers over God, and I began to slip. I worked hard to try and find a way to walk with Christ and the devil at the same time. I had to pick a side. During this time, I came across the book, John Paul the Great by Jason Everett. Inspired by Pope John Paul II's life, I made a final decision to choose Christ and live a life like St. John Paul the Great, or as we call him, JP2. This decision included getting to know Jesus through Mary, as JP2 did. As I grew in my relationship with Christ and his mother, I became afraid that God was calling me out of my relationship with my boyfriend and into one with God alone. So I freaked out. I went to my mom and told her I needed a rosary to figure this out. I prayed frantically, begging God not to ask this of me. I remembered St. JP2's devotion to Mary during this time again, and I found the 33 Days to Morning Glory book, which looks at the process of consecration to Jesus through Mary. The day I consecrated myself to Jesus through Mary was one of the scariest, because I knew that if I did this, and if God was calling me to religious life, I wouldn't be able to ignore him anymore. A year or so went by, and I got hit by a new challenge. The person I loved the most wounded me deeply. In desperation, I went looking for my rosary, and I didn't let go until Mary helped me forgive him. I remember wrestling with this during the fall while driving the combine. During the day, I'd pray the rosary on the combine, and at night I'd beg Mary to change her son's mind or to help me want what he wants. It was also while driving the combine that I felt Christ say, "Just go see." Recently I was hurt again, and this time I knew what to do. I went straight to my mom, to Mary, and she helped me forgive using the rosary. And I was able to forgive much easier. Also, with Mary's help, I worked up the courage to just go see. Last fall, I went to the Carmelite Monastery in Edmonton, and I'm going again in September for a month. Mary has been a part of my life as far as I can remember, but now she's not just some nice lady in the sky. She's my mom. Whenever I see her image, I say, "That's my mom," or "Hey, my mom is here." And then I get these funny looks, and people are like, "What is she talking about?" And my favorite is when someone else will say, "No, she's my mom." Then I know they're a sibling of mine in Christ, and I get really excited about it.